In this video, you're gonna learn how to network like a pro. And let's start by talking about the pre-conference, pre-event preparation. Listen, first steps first is you need to set some goals going into the event. What do you hope to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? What would be the optimal outcome? Write down a list. Now, there might also be some secondary objectives at the event, and those are cool too. For example, when I go to an event, my main goal is to grow my business. I want more clients for my business. I want to be producing more podcasts. I want to be helping busy thought leaders launch shows. But secondary, I want more people to listen to my damn podcast. I want people to listen to the After Hours Entrepreneur, which is globally ranked in the top 1%. Thank you so much for listening. So go in with a plan. What do you actually want to accomplish? Very, very important. The second thing that you want to look at in your goal setting is who do you want to speak to? Who's your target audience? Do you have an idea of the demographic? Where they're going to be hanging out? Think about the people that you want to connect with. And I know, listen, this is marketing 101. What do you want to achieve and who do you want to speak to? Because as you go into the event, knowing the people that are going to be the most valuable people to speak to is important. Now, I'll also just say it's sometimes surprising. Sometimes the people that you think are not going to be a purchaser of your product are actually your best client. It's hard to predict. So don't go in with stereotypes, but just have an idea. These are the people that I really want to connect with. These are the events they're going to be at. These are the presentations they're going to be at. These are the booths that they're going to be at. A conference, an event, you're just not going to have enough time to meet everyone. So go in with a plan of what you want to achieve and who you want to speak to. The next thing you want to do is research. We need to research, we need to plan, knowing what's happening at what time, who's going to be there. There might be some speakers that you really want to speak to. Again, we talked about that in the goal setting, but familiarize yourself with the schedule, with the speakers, the topics. Where are the after parties? Is there going to be any time to rest? Where are people going to be hanging out? Is there a VIP section? Understanding the event and knowing what the agenda is going to really help you to maximize your time. I also make a list of key attendees, people that I really want to speak to. I'm going to be going to the Vault conference today, actually, and I know I want to speak to Patrick Bet-David. I know I want to speak to Adam Sosnick. I want to talk to Tom Ellsworth. I want to talk to Tom Brady. These are key people that I know I really want to speak to. A, because there might be some potential for me to help them. And B, I want to get them on the podcast, the After Hours Entrepreneur, which is the globally ranked top 1%. I know I keep saying that, but it's a good podcast. You should check it out. The other part of planning is knowing who you're going to the event with. Listen, there's only one you. And in my case, when I'm going to an event, I want to sign new clients for my podcast production agency. But if I can be really clear with that pitch, not only with myself, but with the people I'm going with, well, I have little salespeople going around the event as well. You know, I'm going with my homeboy, Matt Consino from the Bright Peak Agency, and he's going to be going around, and if he hears anybody that's interested in podcasting or wants to automate their podcast, wants to launch a podcast, he's going to know to send them and introduce them to me, right? There's only one you, but if you have other people that are promoting you and talking to other people and keep their ears open, can introduce you, that's a huge, huge win, especially if you're going to an event that's going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people. I also like to be thoughtful of budget. Listen, there's a lot of things going on at these conferences. You could end up spending a ton of money, which, you know, maybe is a good thing. Keep in your mind, this is my budget. This is how much I want to spend. I was at a conference a few years ago, a Tony Robbins event, and Tony Robbins, very electric, great speaker. And leading up to him, there was a real estate guy, the guy who was going to teach you how to sell real estate. And he had this really great pitch and the room went crazy. He's like, get to the back of the room and go buy the course. And I'm like, who are you? I don't even know what this is. You know, I think it's important that you go into an event with a little bit of skepticism, because otherwise you might walk out buying a bunch of NFTs or crypto or courses that are maybe not necessarily a fit because you get caught up in the electricity of the event. Go in with your plan. This is why we're doing the planning before the event, and keep in mind your budget going in as well. How much do you want to spend? Don't get caught up in the hype. You also need to have your material preparation on fleek. You need to make sure you have business cards, make sure you have enough business cards. I would also recommend having a digital business card as well. Frankly, that's my favorite way, but what if the internet's bad? You need to have a paper business card too. If the internet's no good, you need to have a plan B. You need to have your promotional materials. Do you have swag? Do you have shirts, hats, larger cards or magnets, mugs? What else do you have that you can bring to the event? You also, this is, I think, really, really important. You need to have an elevator pitch. You need to have an elevator pitch. I'm gonna repeat this one more time. You need to have an elevator pitch, because one of the questions you're going to get is, what do you do? And if you start to stumble and bumble, people are going to forget what the hell you said. If you ask me, Mark, what do you do? Well, I help business thought leaders launch, automate, and grow podcasts. We do that through post-production services, editing, video, copy. We use a lot of AI. We are going to change your life. You need to have a quick elevator pitch so that people can remember you. Your elevator pitch should really be less than 15 words, less than 15 words. It's got to be quick. I help business thought leaders launch, automate, and grow podcasts. I help business thought leaders launch, automate, and grow podcasts. It also, again, should be short and succinct enough that the other people that you know there understand what your pitch is as well. You want to have something that's repeatable and memorable. Really, really important. And then the last thing I want to put onto this as far as the material preparation is recording equipment. If you are planning on doing recording, obviously you're going to want to have like a little microphone, something that you can bring. I'm going to bring a microphone to this event I'm going to, although I don't really plan on doing a lot of recording, but I'm going to bring it anyway, just in case. The last networking tip I want to give you before the event starts is your digital presence. Start building up some buzz on social media. Are you on the way? Are you en route? This is another good way of kind of getting an idea of who else is going to be at the event. I mean, throughout the event, you should just be posting all the time, taking pictures, taking video, getting lots of content. This is the type of stuff that is really, really good, both in the primary time that you're recording now, but also in the future. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but make sure you're starting to create some buzz around the event before you even go. Okay, so you've already done all your pre-work. It's the big day. You're ready to go into this conference. You're stoked, you're excited. Let's talk about what to do during the conference so you can get the most benefit during your event. Because listen, we're there to network, we're there to make money, we're there to make connections. This is really important. During the conference, also, you might, if you don't know anybody, that can be a really uncomfortable spot to be in. I went to a conference for Meta a few years ago. Meta actually flew me to DC to meet 500 other business leaders. I didn't know one single person. I was very uncomfortable. You might say, Mark, you seem very extroverted. I'm actually an extroverted introvert, which I know is complicated, but that's who I am. So when you go into the event, when I went into the event, I didn't know anyone. And you know what I did? I just smiled. I put out the right vibes. And when you put out a good vibe, you attract your tribe. I left that meeting dozens and dozens of people and picking up new business and new leads. So if you're not sure what to do, if you're uncomfortable, just smile. It goes a long way, trust me. Now, we already talked about your research. Put your research to work. Start going around, introducing yourself to people, meeting people, giving your elevator pitch, passing out cards, getting cards. After you get a card, by the way, I strongly recommend you have a pen so you can jot down a quick note. This is really key because when you go into the follow-up process, when you're reaching out to that person in the post event, you want to know who that person is. You want to remember what they do because you're going to meet dozens, if not hundreds of people. You're going to forget some people. So make sure you jot down a quick note. This is really important. I got that tip from Dale Carnegie's famous book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So make sure you do that. Make sure, again, that you're prioritizing the sessions. There's going to be a lot of sessions to go through. So make sure you're prioritizing the right sessions for you. You also, of course, want to have specific time set up for that networking. And there are going to be speakers that maybe you already know. Go to their speaking engagements. You want to support the speakers that you know. You want to shake hands with as many people. Maybe you even get on stage. I'll cover that in a different video on how to get on stage. As someone who's spoken on dozens of stages, I'm going to help you do that in another video. But engagement, don't be afraid to stand up. I was recently at a Patrick Bet-David event, and during the announcements, there was all this excitement, but nobody was willing to stand up. I regret deeply not standing up. I'm going to post a video right here, but I regret not standing up, clapping, creating hype. I should have done that. Don't be afraid to do that. Listen, if there's one thing you want to do at a networking event, it's stand out, be memorable, be different. Another friend of mine, Larry, does a really good job of this. He runs a company called Red Hat Media. He always wears a red hat. Like wearing something a little different, wear a bow tie, wear a hat, wear some crazy glasses. Figure out what makes you different, and then leaning into that is a great way. Again, the worst thing you can do when it comes to networking is being forgettable. So be memorable, both in your words and the vibe and the way you look. This is really important. You also, I would recommend, get photos, get content. We talked about the social media piece. This is really important. And when you take a picture with someone, you share it on LinkedIn and you tag them, this stuff gets a lot of engagement. It's highly engaged, and it's a good way, not only during the event, to engage a little bit deeper, go a little bit deeper with this person, but also in the post. We'll talk about that. But if you meet someone who's interesting, you think might be a potential client or there might be a collaboration opportunity, a quick selfie goes a long way. I know it'll be a little bit embarrassing in the moment, but that person will forgive you once you've introduced them to all the people in your network on social. So take pictures, take selfies. Like, these phones are amazing. We're not dealing with Polaroids anymore for all you old fogies like me. You can take a quick picture. It's digital. You can save thousands and thousands of photos on your phone. So don't be afraid to take selfies and pictures at the event. Just overload it. I'm telling you, you're going to want them after the event is over. Another networking tip is don't be too comfortable. You need to get comfortable with discomfort. I love this book by Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Work Week, where he says you got to get comfortable with discomfort. And I couldn't agree more. One of the tendencies that you're going to have at a conference is just to hang out with maybe one or two people that you know. Sit at the same. I would encourage you, sit at tables with people who you don't know. You don't know any of those people. Talk to people that you don't know. Do not hang out with just the one or two people that you already know and you're already friends with, because if you spend all the time, that's time that you're missing out meeting new people. And I know it's uncomfortable. It's much easier to sit with your friends and your homies. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not saying that you can't hang out with them at all, because let's face it, it's an event. You're having fun. You want to hang out with the people that you know. But if your goal going in, my goal going in is to find business and to make new connections, you're not going to be able to do that hanging out with the same people. You need to go and mingle and connect with new people. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just be ready to get comfortable with discomfort. Nobody's going to be a jerk and be like, get out of here, you don't belong. Nobody's going to do that. All right. So just get comfortable with meeting new people. Don't stay with one person for way too long. Keep it moving. This is a numbers game. When you do meet someone new, don't try to sell them at the scene, right? Don't make sales. The event is for developing relationships. It's not for sales. If a sale happens, then great. If someone says, hey, Mark, I like what you're doing. I'd like to really dig into this. All the sales calls happen after, in the post event. Don't try to sell someone too hard during the event. Just be really clear, be really memorable. Make sure that people know who you are. Develop a relationship. Write it down on their business card. Of course, you're doing a business card exchange. Write down what's interesting about them on your business card. Maybe give them a rating as far as likelihood to purchase so you can prioritize them. But just listen, beware of selling at the event. I really think that when you try to sell too hard at the event, it's going to hurt you more than it'll help you. All right. So let's move on to the post-conference. You've done your pre-conference warm-up, you've been at the event, you've done a ton of networking. Well, what happens next? Follow up immediately. Don't wait too long. Every event that I go to, every big networking event or conference that I go to, seminar, I will block off the next 24 hours. I don't want any other client meetings. I don't want to be doing YouTube videos, although I might, because I'm an addict and I love creating this content. But the next day, you have one goal. That's to reconnect with as many people from the conference as possible. Send a personalized LinkedIn request, put them into your CRM. I use Go High Level. I love it. You could use that to start emailing, tagging, inputting all the people into your CRM. The 24 hours to 48 hours after the event are solely dedicated to reconnecting with all those people that you've met. Hopefully you've met dozens, if not hundreds. That's my goal. I will not turn down any business card in an event because you never know where a relationship will go. I also, just a quick word of warning when it comes to adding them into your CRM, beware spam. There's nothing that's going to turn me off more than someone just adding me to their email spam list, sending me emails all the time. Don't do that. You do want to tag people so you understand what their interests are and how you might be able to help them or where the correlating synergy is. But make sure you tag them. Don't spam them. That's a no-go. I think it's really important to review and reflect. What were your goals going in? Did you achieve those goals? How many leads did you get? Did you spend all of your time just hanging out with the same crew? How many people did you meet? I'm going into this Vault conference. I have a goal of getting 100 business cards. How many am I going to get? Am I going to get 20, 50, 75? Am I going to get 200? I want to have a goal going in. I want to walk away with 100 business cards. That's 100 new hot leads. Let's say I convert 10 of them. That's a pretty big freaking win. Maybe five of them. That's a big win too. So assess the goals. How did you do? How did the event work for you? And the final step here that I like to do is share the knowledge. Share the knowledge. I'm going to go back to my mastermind group, the After Hours Entrepreneur Mastermind group. We've got about 36 people in there who are all sharing our insights and our expertise, helping each other build up. I'm going to go back to the group. I'm going to share. This is what I learned. This is how the event went. And I think that that's really important. Share it with your team. I've got 7 team members on my team. I'm going to share it with my team. This is what happened. This is what's coming next. These are the hot leads. This is how I want to adjust moving forward. Share it with my team. And of course, share it publicly. This is a great time to go to social media. Share what you did either on a YouTube video, in a blog, in a post, in a podcast. Share what you learned, what you did publicly. You're sharing all those photos, all those videos, those are getting shared on social media. All this stuff is super important to maximizing the effect of your event. Now listen, I've given you a ton of stuff. If you're still watching, you need to smash the like button so you don't miss out on the next video. And I will catch you in the next video, and it'll be like right around here. It's gonna be super relevant to you. Thanks for watching. Now go crush your event, bro. Let's go. Go make it happen, all right? Peace.